Woohoo!
Oh, there he is. There you go. Now you can zoom in. Fit to width. Or not. Okay.
Oh my.
Oh, even like how that zoomed in.
Are you looking at this? D?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it.
Just make sure you get your hands, show your hands at all times.
It's like high school hand check.
Yeah. Dude, this is incredible though.
Yeah, this is wow.
Wait, stop on that picture. Go up there, Scott. I just want to see the picture of them around the table.
I need an updated. This one is just some like random sketch I found. So I want to recreate this.
Right?
No, but I like it because it so doesn't fit.
Right.
Yeah, everything else has been so cyberpunky, like really gritty, and that's like really cartoony there.
So
I like your judicious use of bolding words.
Oh
Good
yeah.
use of laying out how you just had money as a single line.
That's from D.
What was?
This having
Look at the way the story's laid out. That is really clean.
Money.
Oh, the World of Shadows. You mean the this little
Yeah,
intro?
the little blurb.
I just typed up what D wrote.
Yeah.
That's how his spacing was.
Yeah, he's awesome.
This was fun. So I took a random like city picture and then like cyberpunked it by like messing with filters and everything like that. Put it askew, added the little border, took some transparent lips, put it over there, wrote "Wish You're Here," bam, Night City postcard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
And then this one, I obviously still need to fill in. We have like some, blank spots.
Yeah. But I mean,
Timelines.
like even with just placeholders, it looks stunning.
Well, yeah, it looks so polished right now.
Oh God.
This is
Hey,
very,
where's that other hand? Hold that
How's it
hand
feel,
where
D?
you can
This
see
is
it.
like this is like your baby coming to life right here.
Yeah, it's manifesting. It's fucking psychotic for me. I don't even know what to think. It's just
so all this purple on the side, like, and at the bottom and stuff like that. There you see these big purple blocks. That's Riv being built. So like now we're moving into stats and attributes and talking about like Riv is, really faster than she is strong. So we'll put more into mobility. And she's
Yeah,
very
basically
lucky,
taking someone through the what they're thinking while they're building a character.
Yeah, but this is why I'm catching stuff. It's because I'm like retyping it all, and I'm like +1, +2, +3, +4, +6. Hey, what happened to +5? Oh, let's go back and figure this out.
Is it 1 + 1 + 2 + 1 or 1 + 1 + 2 + 1?
Fibonacci sequence.
Fibonacci.
I love that sketch. I mean, you've had that for a while, but
it's such a perfect illustration of what I want character creation to be. Like that's the perfect visual.
When
it really is.
Found that, I was like, holy crap, I gotta figure out how to use this.
You know what I would actually add to that? Hold on. On the far one is almost have one with like one more and then the character story. Like, because that's what builds, it's not only just the stats and the skills and the background, the archetype, but it's the whole story that you put together by doing all this. It really makes these characters come alive.
If only you could add like a.
Let's say if I could make it a GIF and like have it animated at the end where he's like sets the gun down. I'm like,
Actually, I was thinking that if you could take that picture and then make the white the transparency and then put a background, like an actual a setting he's in, that would cover. Everyone's like, bling. But you know what I mean? Because that literally covers like, what's his background? Oh, it's this. Dude, that table right there of showing all the skills all at once is really great.
So this has them all in alpha order.
Right.
And then they're here by type. So like here are all the combat skills together.
It's just so much better looking though. Like instead of a
It
big
looks
giant
great.
table.
The formatting is actually a lot easier to understand.
Yeah,
You can
it makes
see
my
our-
eyes not bleed.
Yeah.
Our martial arts here of option 1, option 2, option.
It's an excellent option.
I'm gonna tell you, when I first looked at the player's handbook when I was first putting Ivar together, it overwhelmed me because there was so much. I was trying to figure out, okay, well, where does this go? This is laid out in a nice pattern. It's like, okay, I could do this. I could do this.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a hot
those-
picture, man. I fucking love that shit.
Those pictures in between is so great. Like
Yeah.
it's like you're going through and reading it, and it's like, you got a little break.
Well, this is a photo that's
Oh,
been
wow.
retouched.
It's a real
so
photo. God
It's
damn.
a real photo that's been, touched up and enhanced and all that.
That definitely was
Not by
enhanced.
me, but
You're like, it's all me.
no. This one I'll claim credit for. That was like, I just.
Oh yeah, I remember you showing us the advantages and stuff like that with the. Oh god,
This is so cool.
it's so worthwhile, man.
Well, and like the little exercise we had Dee do with putting in the little purple flavor text really adds pop
It
to
adds
this.
so much. This
Mhm.
is the last page I've finished.
Yeah, I need
Here.
to finish out the
Boring,
the
but-
disadvantages at this point. So I don't
But yeah,
have the
so-
flavor text in for that.
But here's
flavor
the
is
wild
so nice.
thing. These are like size 16. This is like the title, like 4-point advantages, is in size 16. Just because it's a big page, and I'm like, man, I tried to like convert it to letter size and drop the size down to 12 and everything. I'm like, oh, that's a whole different project. To try and get everything down to fit and all that. I'm like, if we're doing it
No.
digitally, it can be this big. It doesn't have to be printed out.
Yeah.
Hell,
So I
having
would
these
care.
great
Is
pictures
there a
and stuff.
place in the player's handbook where they'll have stuff about some of the characters?
That'll be
Night
like
City.
it'll be sidebar stuff.
Yeah,
like whenever
so
you're
here's
reading
the
about
archetypes.
yeah, a lot of the stuff will actually probably end up being in the archetypes element here. But there'll be like
'Cause I'm
sidebars and there will also be like at the starting point kind of I'm going to be stealing from White Wolf a little bit and have like the larger sort of short story style stuff happening at the beginnings of chapters.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Well,
then
that's-
here's the settings guide. So that first part was like all about the player, and then here's to start working into the your corporations.
Yes, who are
then
you and
here's-
where are you? Kind of thing.
Here's the corporation profiles, and then
This is like
Unseen Court.
just lore. Like this is just world building.
Right. Unseen Court, and then templates for
Well,
Unseen Court.
the thing is, what makes sense to me, keeping in this format as well,
Drum berets and stuff.
is the fact that if you put the character sheet included in this, it because so many people game digitally now on like their on like the laptop or an iPad or anything else. Like I'll go to a gaming session up in Vancouver, and like most of the guys have their iPad or Surface or whatnot with them. So just switching
True.
to a pure digital format away from a paper format, although
searchable.
But that's where.
is a
Searchable,
searchable one. Is
Yeah, but
one
that's where
that
everything's
that
going
would
now.
make sense with the world you're creating too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh
important.
yeah, right.
This is shadows.
True to
You're-
theme.
Here's the hunter's codex.
Dude,
Yeah.
eventually, like I think maybe 2 or 3 years from now, when this thing is complete and full, I'm gonna put the money down and I'm gonna print it out for D, like laminate paper kind of thing, like the perfect, like the thick piece of and have him sign
good-
it
the
for the
good
first
shit.
edition,
Oh, yeah.
and then we'll frame it, and
Here's
then,
the
or
back
put it
cover.
away. Yeah, and then we'll sell it when it's worth millions.
Visit us online at worldanvil.com/.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh man, I better start putting some shit in there.
But that's going to be the evolving place,
Yeah.
right? Oh, we've added 3 new corporations.
Yeah, it's gonna be the wiki where all these things kind of build up because they'll
You
have
could
all the
buy
basic
this-
stuff.
You could buy the soundtrack of Shadows. It could be yours, streamed each week.
The low price of 99 cents.
Well, see, and that's what's funny is that I was kind of hoping that we'd get a chance to talk to whoever it was that was starting to build these tracks and start
Oh, yeah.
putting that shit together. Because if I'm being frank, we need like 20,
Hi,
30
Frank.
tracks, something, to really kind of get the entire like encompassment of everything that's there.
All right, sorry I hijacked your stream for a bit.
I loved every second of it. There's no point in me being complaining. It's just like, God! Ugh. No, it's
right now.
amazing.
He has never been more turgid.
There was movement. So we have to recap for a good while, don't we?
Yeah,
It's been a few
like,
weeks.
it's been a couple of weeks at least, and I got wrapped into doing that weird little radio station sample, whatever.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I was hoping that it came across like a radio station and like there was a personality behind it and not just me breathing heavy.
You know, it felt like, oh great, now I can't think of it. What's that podcast?
You know, the
like
one.
The one. That's a
You gotta give us
it's
more.
It's a podcast. It's a radio show about this like wacky little town.
I don't think I've heard of it.
I don't know if I've heard of it either.
It's extremely. Welcome to Night Vale.
Yeah, I've
You
heard
should
of it.
listen to Night Vale. Welcome to Night Vale. It's been going for years, and it's done like an AM radio.
Mhm.
Like, as a reminder, everybody, the Zeppelins will be flying overhead at exactly 10:03 p.m. Do not be outside if you do not would like to have your innards radiated. And brought to you by Lucky Strike cigarettes. The best smokes when you need the like. It's done exactly like AM radio, talk radio, NPR sort of thing, but it's this. You know, pay no attention to the freezer trucks you've seen entering the U.S. Army base. They are not full of bodies of the homeless for experimentation. Pay no attention to them. Brought to you by U.S. Army. Be all you can be. Join the Army. Like, yeah. It's a fantastic podcast.
Wow.
It's one of those that's set like 3 years in the future, you know, like when whatever has just turned enough to shit.
Well,
I mean, we're already there, like a little ahead of
I was
the
going
game.
to say, isn't it
That's what I
like
mean.
yesterday?
Imagine-
Welcome to Trump's 4th presidency.
Yeah.
Welcome to the great America that we build great again. Look,
It's
look,
something
as
like
he's
that.
building a greater America.
We're
By the
watching Doctor Who with Poppy, and we just got to the alternate Earth where it's, you know, the president of England and the Cybermen are taking over. And I'm like, yes, like that. It's just a hair to the left back in World War II. And 70 years later.
yeah.
4 and
Like,
7 years
all
later.
we
Fallout
do is
with
steal
their
elections.
atomic age technologies. All of that fun busyness.
Biz snatch.
Well,
I'm looking at our notes from last time we got together. It looks like we basically spent the time building shit, and then we were going to head up to the Silk Road.
We'd gotten a grenade launcher that shoots 44mm grenades that shoots
That
a
is
crystal to
A
capture.
t-shirt
stuff.
gun.
And we finally
Yeah.
built Git Barrick's shield bracelet so he can summon his cop ancestors.
Did we actually get that done, or were we going
Yep.
to do that?
We did.
Oh, we did it? Cool.
We succeeded.
I mean, all
Yeah, we
did
achieved
did
it. The
Yeah.
chapter was called Figure It Out,
Yeah.
and we figured a lot of shit out.
Oh, by the way,
And,
what is going to be the name of this chapter?
Even the one today?
The one
Figure
we're
It Out
starting. I was
part
asking
two.
D.
No, Figure It Out was last.
Yeah,
was
no, I was
last
asking.
week.
I was asking D what our next chapter is called.
heating
You
up.
know,
He
yeah, Sinclair has
Whoa,
been
not that much.
building. So I got approached, and Sinclair is moving forward with building his family,
Oh, right.
and he wants John to know
Oh, shit.
that he's building the family.
There we go.
Sinclair's building the family. Okay.
Yeah, Sinclair's in the midst of getting his family put together, and he was letting John understand that this is what he's up to.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got invited to speak at a conference.
Nice. Compensated? Oh,
Just name recognition.
what city do you live in, Scott?
Rose, this is on stream.
Well, type it to me then.
He lives at
Roseville,
he lives
Roseville,
at
California,
he lives at your mama's house.
in a van by the river.
Bill would be really good at the old-timey radio voice.
Yeah,
Like
because
the-
he was just doing it. He was just doing it, and it
Yeah.
sounded like it was straight out of the 1930s.
Yeah.
Like I was
Yeah,
listening
it
to
was
some sort of radio show.
The Legend of Korra.
Last time on Shadows, Sinclair was being an evil fucker, and he was messing with John. Oh, poor Johnny boy. The cult of personality was basically building an amulet for Barrick's cop ancestors so he could summon them to protect him. Like that?
Yeah, kind of like that.
We need to get a sepia tone with like the real sound.
Well,
in
we
the
also have to
background.
have like the film distortion, like where you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, sepia tone, the film distortion, and the thing in the background. That
Brought to you by, what is Ivar going to piss on next?
Apparently, we have a dinner date with Michael coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to arrange one.
Yeah, so we were
Ooh.
arranging that because we needed to figure out where the Holy Grail was.
It doesn't work on the stream. It's like, it's his foot. All right. I love it though. You got your techno nanite shield and all that stuff. He's improving quite a bit. You're gonna have to buy like all of his minifigs and as they started out from like the beginning and just like pan it across.
Right.
That'd be an interesting way to see the progression of the character for sure. All right. Well, yeah. So you guys had managed to do a little bit of off time. Obviously Sinclair made his progress known to John. We also had a dinner date set aside to speak with Michael. What was the dinner date to be in reference of? You guys were trying to find something out in specific.
Oh,
It was
Holy
important.
Holy Grail.
Yeah.
The Holy Grail.
Grail.
Tim the
yeah.
Enchanter.
Yeah, John was getting, I guess, as angry as he can get,
Yeah.
really, with his borderline sarcastic indifference to life. About it's like we're always getting our asses kicked nowadays. Fine, fuck it, Puck. Let's do this. So
Oh yeah, Puck.
yeah, because Puck was basically saying that. You remember what Puck was saying was that fate had been twisted. That that he had been sent by the Fates to let us know that we needed to find the Grail, and among a few other things. So it was just bringing in a component that we had dealt with in the past to hopefully help us in the future.
And then I think the other one is old Violette from the Silk Road.
Yeah,
As
called
called
She want the help.
Yeah, the Silk Road's opening up for us if we're able to get this taken care of.
Yes,
We're
not to
going
mention
on.
the fact that she had a specific request to open up that roadway for you. More or less, she was calling upon you to help take care of a situation.
It's that's why we needed the grenades, the capture
Yep.
grenades.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It would be your opportunity to test out the new prototype.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, we have 3 doors. Which door shall we walk through?
Well, the most immediate one was to help De La Rosa, because if we get the Silk Road access that she was granting, then we can be quick responding to all these flare-ups faster than they can respond to us. Right?
Mm-hmm.
2, it gives us the ability to test. I guess I'll just talk like the John. Just, well, 1, the reason we want to do it is because we just want to have an advantage. That would be nice for once in our godforsaken lives to have one up on them. Just saying.
Huh. All right.
See, now you're doing this, Barrick.
All right.
I don't talk enough anymore to get that gravelly
Yeah.
voice.
It's called a fan. It's called a utility
I
pack.
say
That's
hi
a-
kids at 8:30, and then I say hi kids at 4:00, and I don't talk between then.
Are you finding this sabbatical a really good use of your time?
Well, I don't know. If you ask Ken, it's a perfect use of my time.
I was joking. I was saying it's like this is the best thing that's happened to the CRB in a while because he's
Yes.
had so much time dedicated to
It's
it.
like you ask if it's a good use of your time. I'm going like it absolutely is. It can be like this for a while without causing any serious damage or harm to his family.
Like November.
Hopefully you get unemployment, and then hopefully you find a
Oh.
job.
Unemployment in
those-
California is so bad at paying out right now. They're so backlogged.
I'm getting those hour-long depression naps after lunch, though. That is nice.
Followed by catching up on all your movies, I hear.
Dude, Bunraku, right?
Holy crap! Holy crap! Yes.
It's fucking good. I love that movie.
It's
One
a
of
really
those-
good movie.
So underrated.
Yeah. Nobody really knows about it.
I only know about it because of these, so
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. It's an artistic film with a huge number of really like prominent actors involved.
I feel like it was a contractual obligation movie.
Maybe,
Like
but
with the
it's
amount of people
fantastic.
that were in there, like, hey, you know what? Let's knock all of our stuff out at once. Let's just all throw us all in.
Well, the Japanese protagonist, and I can't remember his name for some reason, Yoshi. Like Yoshi, he's actually a voice actor for Gundam, the animated series, in a lot of different ways. So he's actually a voice actor.
So, who was the one who hired us to clean up the Silk Road?
Violet.
Violet,
Rosa.
Violet Della Rosa, yep. I do believe, and I think Drew's notes can corroborate this, because I have it probably pinned down somewhere in mine, but I can't remember exactly. I believe it was Sebastian that was her elvish assistant.
Seabass
I
with the
remember
cool locks.
I remember that the Fae were involved.
Yeah.
In this one.
So yeah, Sebastian
Yeah,
in particular
she-
is her second in command, more or less. He was the one responsible for using all the mystical locks, keeping everything nip and tuck.
We have not been actually down to see her in a while.
No.
I mean, in game it's like 4 days, but in universe, for us it's like 2 months.
It's been longer than 4 days, but yes, relatively speaking, you are accurate.
Yeah, we actually had some downtime, like our characters.
And make sure I open up the right character sheet.
So
I love how our characters when we actually get downtime. So what'd you do? We slept.
We actually use our
A
downtime.
lot?
It's not like I'm gonna learn blacksmithing. I'm
yeah,
gonna go do blacksmithing for a month. We're like, I patched up the holes and cut out some cancer and slept.
Yeah, the cult's routine. Day 1, I'm getting drunk. Day 2, I'm gonna stay drunk. Day 3, I'll sober up, and then I'm gonna take a nap.
Gotta maintain that light exorcism just to keep you fresh. It's like
Yeah.
exfoliation for you.
Mm-hmm. Walk into a church going, ooh, it's like a cold shower.
The Kurgan. Oh, Drew,
What's up?
from the wife.
That looks like a good cookie.
Dust cookie.
No. Ken, you don't understand. Scott's wife
Bakes.
makes the best cookies.
Fucking
We used to get
cookie.
them like annually for Christmas, birthdays, so she could steal our friend. She would like slip cookies in our path and be like, "Oh my god, these are great," and then Scott would be gone.
And then we go, take him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we went around their wedding stealing cookies because they made
Oh
these
my God,
cookies
those
for
are good
everyone. As
cookies.
they were, I know.
And nobody thought no one ate the cookies, so we just took them all.
There you go.
Champagne frosting shortbread cookies. They were like 4 inches on a side.
They were
But-
amazing.
I think that our next task was the Silk Road task.
Mhm.
'Cause the-
Yes, it is.
the
And
meet-
Sebastian
meetup-
is the
Because
guy.
Michael meetup was
Boom!
still
Gotta
something
love my
that
memory.
Douglas was actually kind of helping us out on. So
Yeah. So for the first thing, yeah, we had downtime, but it's gonna get busy for us really fast because first we have the Silk Road thing, then we have Michael's meeting, and then
then we have our
to
dinner
deal with
date,
Sinclair.
and Then no.
Okay,
no,
so in the
eventually
morning we clean up
Sinclair.
the Silk Road. We'll be here for dinner. Don't worry, it'll all work out, darling.
Okay, because after some time, doing that nice little luncheon with Michael at Black Sun, we still have to go visit the Prince of Night City.
Oh, that's right. But we helped him.
Yes, but
yeah, we gotta check in after we did our.
Or we have to
dirty
check
deeds.
in because he wanted us to check in,
Right, and then we can do Sinclair. Or
well, Sinclair was basically if he shows up on the radar, we just I guess John's
Oh,
gonna
so he's
react.
just a
John's gonna
backstroke.
run straight at him. You motherfucker!
Yeah, pretty much the Sinclair thing is a back burner unless it comes up.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
a circumstantial situation.
So can we get into a briefing of the op that we're about to do for Violet Delarosa then?
You'd have to go to Violet. What you guys know of is that she's asking for your presence. You've been invited. You were supposed to show up within the next 24 to 48 hours, I believe.
Yeah, it was the 24 window. Well, what I wrote down is we had a 24 window to start. So
Yeah, you have to go talk to her. She'll brief you
Okay.
once you get there.
okay.
John's wandering through the aisles, through the hallways. Has anyone seen Ivar? Where the fuck is Ivar? Ivar, time to go. Pack up your shit.
Ivar, I think you're gonna
He's
be
gonna
like,
come out with a bag of shit,
let's hope not.
all packed up.
He'll be like near where the danger room is, and for whatever reason, you're actually stuck in a large recreation of like one of the larger mansions that are actually that used to be around as an installment of a manor house, and you're tinkering around with your shoebox and some of the other things.
What? What do you want?
We got shit to do. Is that and John just kind of points. Is that ready yet?
And
'Cause
Ivar
you're-
just kind of looks at his shoebox. He's like, "This?
Yeah. You ready to use
Yeah,
it?
let me
buddy?
show you. Look." And he opens it up, and inside, you look in. It's kind of like in the scene in Pulp Fiction where they open the briefcase, and you just know it's glorious. Like you know what's in there is what you want. And Ivar, when you look at him, when he opens it up, he no longer looks like this drunken slob on the streets. Like you see, like the piss and the shit washed away, and you see like almost Ivar in a divine-like state. And then he closes the lid, and he's a bum again. And Ivar goes, "It's ready."
No, okay, Marcellus, let's go.
And out the door they went.
No, I'm sitting at the table eating breakfast. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, as they said.
Yeah,
And
Barrett's
as
got his
Ivar,
cup of
as
coffee and his
Ivar
grapefruit.
as Ivar walks by the dining room, he just kind of looks your way and it's like, and you just feel the gems on your hands fully load up without even Ivar being near. He just kind of looked at you.
Is Dravis at the table?
Yes, you can imagine that he is. He's always been an early riser. He's probably been there for maybe an hour or so.
Hey, Dravy buddy, you ready to go hunt some outsiders?
He's just like, born ready, actually. And just sifting through the scream sheets, like, been looking forward to this. Couldn't even sleep.
Fantastic. Ironically, and he's like making a breakfast sandwich out of the bacon, like a muffin and things like that. Grabs a cup of coffee and says, "Well, I mean, this is the first time in God knows how long we've been doing this crap that I actually want to do something. Silk Road. That sounds like a fantastic thing to play with." And he
he's
just
like-
drinks his coffee and takes a bite.
Nods his head. He's like, yeah, I can also see it as a potential problem. But for now, we'll think about it in the realm of possibilities. Get those roads cleared up. Make ourselves a little useful to somebody who's pretty dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, at this point, I think we all agree anything that's an advantage is a good thing.
Right now, yeah.
Quick side question,
Yep.
D, on sort of Ivar creates those sort of shadow pocket areas where he like stores shit. Is it theoretically, if he were to put a living thing in it or an outsider in it, even in stasis, could they break out of those rooms?
That entirely depends on their capabilities. If you're talking about something that is mundane, no. They would just get like that, and then that becomes their new reality for however long you want to hold them in there. It also depends on, like, Ivar's capacity, going on the mundane level again. He'd have to basically create a pocket dimension that sits within his 200 foot now, or 180, I can't remember how big it is, but it's within the 200 foot range. But he'd have to create a sort of pocket dimension that was, out of phase with the regular reality and able to sustain that person for a certain amount of time. Because if you just throw them into a pocket dimension without any atmosphere, they're going to explosively decompress, and that'll be a problem.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
That makes me hungry for sandwiches. All right, so
Breakfast sandwich.
dude, I'm telling you, breakfast is my favorite meal all day long. Doesn't matter what the hell time of day
Good
it
thing
is.
we're having brunch on Sunday then.
Yeah.
Dude, I bought my wife a crepe maker, like a crepe pan thing,
Oh.
for Christmas last year. Oh, that has paid off tremendously. It's like every Sunday, crepes.
Oh, I'm so
Nice.
jealous.
She's getting really good. They're like super thin, and then she rolls them in, all like full of cheese and ham and everything. They're all fat.
Ah, stop it. All right, so yeah, we have to get over to Violet's and make sure that we are, getting ourselves ready for this. And I think everybody's pretty much mostly geared up with the equipment that we can muster for the time being. Anything that we can possibly think of before we begin this little adventure.
I
Beric's-
load up on flashbangs.
Oh
There
yeah.
you go.
And then Colt's gonna charge up the Ring of Division.
Yep.
Beric is gonna kind of take Colt aside and say, "So this bracelet thing,
Mm-hmm.
how is it supposed to work?"
Look at your scream sheet, or
Yeah,
wherever
no, I see.
I post.
No, he like taps and like
Scroll up.
the
Oh,
item
oh.
info pops up on his HUD. He's
Oh.
like, "But do I like shake it? Like, do I have to?
I mean,
How does it activate? I don't want to be in a firefight
Wingardium
going like,
Leviosa.
bracelet on or something stupid."
what you're gonna need to do is you need to, because it's a very special ritual, Beric. I need you to crunch over like this. Can you crunch over like
Oh
this?
my god.
Okay,
And then you take the shield bracelet. I want you to take your hand like this,
okay.
and I want you to do this motion.
Oh, to charge up the kinetic power. So
Yes,
So,
yes.
okay.
Absolutely.
So just okay.
Of
For
course.
how long?
Dravis, on the other hand, is now laughing
Beric,
to the point
he's
where
just
he's almost
messing with
crying.
you.
He actually
Until you
slides
finish.
into his seat like this, just kind of like trying to keep himself together.
I can feel
Meanwhile-
it. It's about to charge up.
At this point, John's lost it. It's like,
Ivar just shakes his head like it's not anything he's seen before, and he just looks up and goes, "Can I get a bowl of blood, please? Just a bowl of blood.
so,
A good 2 quarts of blood."
Beric, God's bless your ever-loving serious stick up your ass. What you do is it's not going to build up with kinetic energy. It already exists and already charged. You know how you did that kind of absorby thing? Do you remember that feeling? When you
Yes.
absorbed? Okay. Hold up your wrist like this.
I'll also
And-
have a Bloody
and you-
Mary. Can I have a
Can
Bloody
you
Mary
focus
and a
on
bowl of blood?
absorbing that energy? And then you absorb that energy and you focus it here. And then you release. So clench like you're releasing, you're building up energy, and then
Right.
imagine letting it go.
Right. And like a little faint flicker, like for brief second pops up. It's like, all right. Do I need to charge it more, or
Beric,
You know,
don't do that, especially in a fight. You're going to confuse the enemy, but not in a good way.
I mean, this is Night City. You never know what you might arouse. Beyond suspicions.
John's in fine form today.
+3 seduction checks.
Yeah, didn't think you were gonna use that sexual energy, did you?
Barrett's S will has gone up by 1 point.
Fending off the advances of one John demonic soul.
See, I am a good sport. I hope all of our viewer liked that.
Well, needless to say, after a lot of the general merriment, which is unusual for this crew, we end up taking ourselves out to Violet's as long as there is nothing else that need be done.
Just a quick question: how much did the ring recharge? Because I had my maximum rate is 15. I was at a 9 on that blood ring that absorbs.
You can put yourself up 2 more points, so you're at an 11.
All right, thank you.
I like.
Ivar just walks out with the big Bloody Mary, and he's just sitting there sipping on it. He looks over at John and goes, "Would you like some? It's very healthy for you." You're muted, Bill.
That would explain why I didn't hear anything.
You're still muted. You should be good now.
Just
say
talk.
something.
Test.
Yeah,
There you are.
Okay. Because usually I expect to see the light here, but I guess I'm not seeing the light. He's just like, no, I you know what? I just feel good.
Ivar feels good that Bloody Marys are very healthy for you. Look at this. They got tomatoes and celery and lots of vodka. Very good for you.
You know, if it wasn't for all that magic you got coursing through you, I think you'd be dead by now.
Well, I mean,
no, I have very strong liver, like father.
I think
he lived
has,
to ripe old age of 38.
I think he has a Keith Richards syndrome.
Everything is leaning against each other.
Ooh.
Alright, so we're ready to head to Delarosa's.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All charged up.
All of a sudden, you see Ivar trying to comb his hair and clean himself up, looking nice.
The way of pain.
That was the street I grew up on.
Okay, so if you guys recall, you will head out to the AV pad. You will find yourselves escorted, of course, by Alex, as always. You know, you've got at this point, your little AV has. You can actually tell that there is some battle damage with the air vehicle that has been like pushed up and like replaced, or excuse me, repaired. But you can still see it. What's funny is that the vehicle is starting to get a little bit of personality. It looks like these leaving decals and things like that based on certain repairs. There's even, shit you not, like the little stickers of bullet holes where they used to be.
Nice.
And Alex
Welcome to Alex Customs.
yeah. But he's in the driver's seat. He's eating a sandwich. He's not even like leading you guys outside of the house anymore, but he's waiting for you when you get there. And he's like, "Load on up. Don't have far to go, but it's gonna get interesting."
Alex, when is it not interesting?
And he just shrugs his shoulders. He's like, "Since you guys showed up, like never." Like that takes another bite.
Is Barrick the one with the t-shirt cannon thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Freaking Spaceballs, man. So great.
Flex that heavy skill.
Yep, flex it, man. Flex it! Okay, so you take flight, of course, with all of the electrochromic opacities turned to a point where they can start pushing in their video feeds. Gives you guys that same really strange, sort of almost nostalgic, comforting look at Night City as it's dropping below and flying across. It's always something interesting. Now, when you take down to a landing, you're at a familiar street that you'd been on before. You have the the subtle sense that there are a lot of maybe a lot of dissonance here, a lot of people that have sordid backgrounds, but they all seem to be well collected and they're monitoring you as you're moving through. Of course, from the one of the corner of one of the alleyways, people watching you through storefronts, that kind of stuff. They're just eyeballing you, but being that you're expected, nobody makes any particular moves. The street is still under her control, and it seems to be quite well maintained even now. It's been several weeks since you'd been here last, so it's a fascinating thing to see that she's still kind of running everything pretty much exactly the same. It's quite confident. You get to the same area just in front of the building where Sebastian had met you before, and there he stands, still wearing his sort of silvery suit and... Nice. Perfect. Love Blade Runner. So, yeah, he's just standing out there waiting for you. He has his arms leafed in front of him, and he's just kind of watching as you all approach.
Did we call ahead? Or she's expecting us?
She is. She's the one that invited you.
Yeah,
so.
she requested us, yeah.
Sebastian, how are you doing today?
Quite well, John. Quite well. Seems like everyone's in good health, even if they don't appear to be as such, eyeballing Ivar from just a short moment, but then he moves in and everything. So, I believe that you are all considering yourselves ready then.
We've added a couple to our crew since we were last here. Hope you don't mind.
I see that. No problem if they're efficient and can manage their job without jeopardizing our own business. Beyond that, I have no complaints, and I'm sure she won't either.
I forgot to ask, is
efficient.
Richard with us? Or did we...
No, Richard is not with you. He's off doing his own thing at the moment. He had separated
just
just
the core
before the
group.
end. Yeah.
The new core plus Dravis?
Yep.
Okay.
If I remember correctly, he actually split off just before everybody's major sets of downtime to go do research of his own, because he's still working for Vasad to sort things out.
Yeah, okay.
Ivar is there. He's got his Bloody Mary in one hand. He's holding this rotted out shoebox, and he looks at Sebastian. He goes, "Is there somewhere where we could go speak in a little more privacy to be updated on the situation at hand?"
Of course, Ivar. I was planning on taking you into the throne room. This way.
Thank you, Sebastian. Would you like some Bloody Mary? They're very good, healthy.
No, thank you, but I appreciate the offer. He was walking down into the main steps that go below street level, and it's the same sort of intricate locking mechanism that you remembered from before, where he takes the dials, moves things around. Of course, it doesn't materialize until he moves his hand in just such a way that the actual magic responds to him, almost as if he was the conductor itself. And then once he gets the various separate dials moved into their various positions, and Barrick, with your memory, of course, these positions have changed since the last time you saw them, which means that they will change again.
Yep.
Of course, when he does that, he pushes the door open, looking rather unassuming, and it steps you into a sort of hall where you have to walk down, and there's a set of wider double doors, just like the ones you remember from seeing beforehand. These ones, of course, being much larger. And when the door shuts behind you, you are escorted to those, where he again invokes the next locking sequence, unlocking them and stepping through. And of course, you have Della Rosa sitting at her throne amidst all of this in what looks to be like a medieval throne room of a sort, but nothing like you would see in Europe. Its design and architecture being somewhat alien in that sense. But she actually looks up, sees Sebastian and the crew that Sebastian is escorting, and nods her head. Well, faster than I was expecting, if I'm going to be honest. I was hoping that you wouldn't be busy. It seems that I caught you at a good time. Talking to everyone.
Wait.
Everyone talking to her.
Yeah.
Riv is going to take the first action here. Well, and for whatever wild reason, she's got it up her ass to be like cordial for once, and so she does like the most like gracious bow you've ever seen someone do, and she says something to the effect of, Miss Della Rosa, thank you for allowing us to grace us with your presence, or something like that.
Right.
It sounds almost sycophantish. Like, is she just got it up her ass? She wanted to say that.
Well, she just raises an eyebrow. Of course, she's got that dark lipstick going with the like the shiny outer coat, and then it's like got the tank top underneath. Her athletic form is showing quite well. She's got like the tighter pants with the combat boots on at this point, so she's looking more militant at this point. And she also seems to be carrying a weapon, one of which is a blade that's sitting next to the throne, that's just leaning there while she can sit. But you see that she also has a holstered weapon, so that she's also got a firearm as well. And she's got
what's really funny with her
double chopstick
magical helmet and the bodysuit and the gauntlets of.
I mean, you kind of look like a hodgepodge anyway, but she's just like,
yeah.
All right then. I mean, it's a bit much, but I'll take flattery in just about any form.
Well, then
Ivar gets up and just like shrugs and then gets back.
Ivar, with an etiquette of 31, would he know the proper way to greet
Yes.
her to, and he goes through and does that while holding his Bloody Mary and his shoebox to just say, in a sense of saying, we are here at your service. We appreciate your time. How can we help you solve this little problem that is clogging up your road?
Well, since you ask so politely. She stands up, walks towards the group. Of course, Sebastian just kind of moves to the side to allow her to approach you all. He's standing quartered out to everyone's right while she comes to your direct center. I have several nexus points that seem to be in trouble. Now, if you've never traveled the Silk Road before, it can be a little disorienting, but as we have agreed, and if you are successful in containing this particular problem, access to the Silk Road is yours. And of course...
We are very grateful.
Well, I'll be grateful if you can pull this off. None of my own have been able to stop them, or the onslaught in which they take. They've also managed to cut off certain trade routes, which has put a damper on me earning the various wealth and amenities that I do appreciate, which needs to stop. And I can't have anyone else looking around to see me being unable to accomplish what I would normally be able to accomplish any other day. It's important that we keep up the status quo in certain senses. Don't you agree? She looks over at Ivar, of course.
Ivar just looks and goes, I very much agree. And I would take it that this speed and accuracy of cleaning up little mess is of the utmost importance to you.
Well, almost. It is quality over quantity or speed. I want these things gone, and I want them gone for good, permanently. They can't come back. If it's the same ones, if I'm going to be clear. I'm not going to presume that these are the only ones there, but if you are able to eliminate the ones that exist currently and do so in such a manner that I can prove they are gone, well then you have your pass. All of you. And you'll be able to do what you need.
How many nexus points are we talking here? Like she said that after that. She didn't
2
interrupt
at least for now. There might be a third. I haven't been able to get any reports back about it, but at least 2.
Did you say outsiders, or am I inferring?
You might be inferring, but I assume it is probably these strange creatures that have been causing havoc all across Night City, and for my people, and many others across the Unseen Court as well.
Is there anything else that you can provide us to know locations, damage, powers, anything that you've been able to give, any intel to help us be able to solve problem?
Well, again, it can be a little disorienting. You have to know where these nexus points are, and I will have a guide bringing you to each one as necessary. If it turns out that the guide is hampered, incapacitated, or otherwise removed from the equation, then you will have to have some means of communicating with me, which I have taken care of that. Sebastian, if you don't mind. He just nods. He goes over to where there is a chest being kept, and he picks up some devices and starts to bring them our way while she continues to describe what she needs. You'll be given communications devices, things that can actually surpass the normal boundaries of time and space, because the Silk Road is conjoined in such a way it has a strange kind of mesh network, I believe it's told. Something akin to what you might find in modern day technology when you're using the internet or whenever you're actually inside the web. Difference is that this one has a tendency to be much more arcane in its nature. We found a way to use it kind of like radio waves. I don't know if you've known this, but you can actually pick up radio stations by grinding a small groove in a piece of quartz crystal and setting a needle to it, and then if you apply a small cone of paper, it'll allow you to be able to hear that like some sort of, sonic device of some sort or another. It's interesting how that works, don't you think?
Beautiful. Would Ivar understand the general idea of what is being talked about on these things, the occult and magic that goes into it?
Yes, you would. So basically what she's done is she's given you guys arcane radios.
Yeah. And Ivar is just like, that is just brilliant.
It's been necessary.
And very much. And I'd really like the group to notice, like, what I see with Ivar is, for some reason, whenever he comes to this place, he has rolled very high on etiquette. It's like you're seeing Ivar on his best behavior. Like this is Ivar before he became a drunk. He used to deal with people like this, and he used to be in their good graces. So it's almost like he's like, I've done this before.
So while she's having that brought over, it's like, you'll be able to directly communicate with me. They should be able to pinpoint your exact location from these same devices. Now, that being said, if your guide is capable of being able to bring you to these locations, he's not going to be participating in any of the conflict. I assume that it will probably be pretty dicey, and because he is so important and I only have so many guides that are capable of navigating the vast labyrinth of the Silk Road itself, I need to make sure that they are preserved as an asset and not put at risk. If it turns out that they are in any way compromised, we'll have to get to that situation when we get there, I suppose. But for now, like I said, 2 locations. These are your radios. Sebastian handing them out to everybody else. They look like standardized radios, but anybody with any kind of occult, in them, or even somebody who can sense magic, which is pretty much everybody now, you immediately take note of the fact that there is something arcane about them, so it's an immediate sense that there is something mystical about these devices entirely. So, I'll bring you up to speed. The first Nexus point is actually at a vertice aspect that is close to the Portal of Purgatory. You'll probably be familiar with it already. That is going to probably be your most dangerous. I suspect that one of the more powerful of these outsiders is lingering in that area. It's made it impossible to traverse through the outside areas of Purgatory, if you can even really call it that. If there are outskirts or even a perimeter, I would assume that this Nexus point brings you to that and then leverages it. But some of these realms are almost impossible to really, use any kind of topography. Nobody's been able to map them out beyond some of the pathways, and then it gets more complex from there. The second is the least dangerous of the 2, only in reference to the entity which causes me trouble. Not so mild when it comes to the realms in which it interconnects. Who's aware of the true interplanar connections between this realm and others?
Is any of us aware of that?
You could roll to find out if you actually know.
What's the roll?
Occult.
Make a 25 occult roll, and that nails it right on the head there, Drew.
Drew found it. So
Ivar just sits there in that state of very polite. He's waiting.
Crit. Yeah.
Okay, so I got 26.
Yeah. Wow.
Nope.
Eric got higher than I expected.
And funny enough, the actual interdimensional being who's here isn't that much aware, but then again, it probably means he's isolated down to just the demonic realms, which are complicated enough. So, she's like, you have the prime material plane, which actually encompasses the entirety of the universe as we see it now, which is the exact thing that these outsiders are disrupting. Beyond those, close proximity to us, there are other realms that are traversable usually by spirits, or those who are considered to be dead, or, in better cases, those of us who actually have a path to the Silk Road. Gotta find my map here.
Oh,
Who needs a map?
Glad we didn't have that sound earlier when you were
seriously.
I don't know how easy this is going to be seen, but you have...
You should
the
take
various...
a picture with your phone and put it in the OOC.
Yeah, shouldn't I? Let's do that. Wow. I got a lot of notes.
And all of a sudden, in the CRB, we see a page.
I
We'll have to draw
He's
this out
watching.
graphically.
Oh, get it on Photoshop and like just draw over it, like.
Let Poppy get a hand of it.
seriously, she's
Poppy.
doing great with Procreate.
Who's procreating? What?
My 11-year-old is using an app called Procreate, which is like an iPad version of Photoshop.
Oh, that's cool.
Wait. I just heard Poppy procreating. What?
Well, this got weird quick.
Just leave it at that. Just let it be. Walk away.
I'm gonna walk away.
Here we go. It is loading.
I've added that to my favorites.
Yeah, that was the one that our friend used in Hawksoft all the time. Probably still does.
Oh yeah, Kenny uses it all the time still. Can't wait to see him on Sunday. It's gonna be
Right.
great.
Boy, it's not that complicated, but it's really taking its time to load up.
The big boy.
It's not even that big. It's just a two-dimensional image. I've had videos load
There it
faster.
goes.
It's weird.
Oh, that's cool. So-
Yeah.
Okay. Celestial, Infernal, Threshold, Purgatory. Okay, I get it. Well, see, now Ivar can draw this down.
Yes, you have the
I
prime.
feel like as soon as it's mentioned, Ivar just kind of like takes his Bloody Mary and just starts sketching things. He's like, kind of like this.
And he's like, she's just like, correct.
Yeah,
You
that's
notice-
going in the CRB.
John looks over his shoulder and sees the infernal organ and says, "Oh, I know that one."
Oh, home.
Yeah. She's like, this is more or less, if you look at it correctly, it embodies kind of the Star of David, a geometric formation that is unmistakable, especially in past time. So, you have realms that are easily accessible by those within the prime material plane. That would be the astral plane, one of the most common ones. And then you have realms that we shouldn't be too terribly involved in, where more or less the realms of the dead can actually reside. Similar things like purgatory and that kind of thing. And then further outstretched are those that cannot be accessed by anyone of the prime material, or shouldn't be able to. At least that's what it was believed. And this secondary
Where's the
nexus.
second point? Yeah, okay.
The secondary
What's the
nexus.
Symbolism.
What is the symbolism there? Willem Dafoe, you crazy bastard.
Symbology.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, D.
Mm.
This picture you pasted is 6,936 by 9,248 pixels. No wonder it took a while to load. It's
Good
freaking massive.
shit. Well, I mean, if you wanted the detail, there it is. You don't even
So
see,
Yeah,
one
you don't
grid
even
is
see
one
like
inch.
the coffee stains in it.
Yeah, no, I just opened it like live, and when I zoomed in, like
Boom!
27-inch screen is like each like grid is this big.
Yeah, this is to give you a perspective. This is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter size. So it's a centimeter square.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
what I'm
huge
saying.
picture. Wow. Well, I've just got a killer fucking camera on my phone, so there you go. Anyway, she's like, she brings us up. It's like one of these nexus points will actually bring you quite close to what we refer to as the wastelands.
So one target is not as dangerous, but happens to be in a very dangerous location, and one target is in a okay location, but happens to be the more dangerous. That about right?
You've got it.
You had a
Alright.
third possible.
Say again.
You had a third possible point. Intruder.
Until I have it determined, I don't want to give you any more information than you absolutely need. At this time, these two are your priority, and I want to make certain that they are removed, like I said. So
Just to be clear, sorry, I was dealing with this massive influx of data. Purgatory, the one near Purgatory is the first one, and what was the second one? Is near the Spirit Realm.
near the Wastelands.
Wastelands. Okay. I'm seriously. I'm needing to shrink this down. It's way too big. I'm trying to put it in my OneNote, but my God.
Your monster visual aid anytime you like.
When I pasted it first into OneNote, it made my text like this big to just show me the whole thing. Like, and then every time I tried to move it, the whole thing would freeze. So I've got to deal with that.
Well, that explains a lot. Wow. All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I drew this thing out years ago, man.
Looks great.
So she's like, the important thing you need to understand is I'm certain that you've already been to Purgatory since if I recall, or at least, and she looks over at Sebastian and she's like, we have references that prove that they were at least there more than once. She's like, right. The other one, on the other hand, well, the Wastelands are dangerous for another reason. We don't understand it exactly, but those who are of the mortal coil don't stay there for long, and the one part of the Silk Road that we have access to allows you to get through inside and out and offers access to other areas, other realms that are of key note. Mind you, this is a minuscule sliver of the sheer number of realms that are available to you. Once the Silk Road's open, well, you can have your fun ad infinitum.
I vote for point 2.
Greatest dangers of the Wastelands that we have seen so far is that you can actually suffer from very strange types of issues. Sometimes hallucinations, other times, well, we would call them delusions, but I don't think they are delusions. Something tells me that there is forces that exist there to maintain a specific balance. Finally, there is one other sighting that we have had that has only been observed once. Apparently some great entity, large in the sense that it is probably equivalent to a size of a skyscraper, that moves itself around within that area. It seems to be able to burrow and move below the sands.
In the Wastelands?
Yes. So if you encounter such a thing, don't try to engage it. Just leave.
Oh. And John just kind of going like, I mean, choices. Well,
wait 1 moment, John. Of these two problems, is there one that is more clogging up the pipes of the Silk Road that is a bigger headache for you?
Both of these key points seem to be equal for me. However, if you were to ask me which one I'd give priority to, our inability to surpass the Wastelands has left me with a valuable number of assets unattainable. You can start there if you truly wish to begin at that point.
Well, Sai Halud, we have worm sign. Here we go, guys.
Goon!
I get that reference.
That's why I like you, Barrick. Gotta keep up the good work.
Dravis is just looking around. He's like, okay, that seems about pretty concise to me. Now, what do we have as far as these outsiders? And she's like, fair enough question. If you don't know what you're looking for, how can you kill it? So, The one that you're going to be headed towards seems to be of an unusual nature. It carries on with a slightly humanoid form that I have heard. Reports have come back that he has blocked the way, done so intentionally, has not actually engaged a number of my own teams trying to get through it, which is why I put him at the lesser obstacle. Either way, we've only got a vague description. It's something like he's wearing a 3/4 length coat, usually dark, seems to be well dressed, hair has been parted from the right over to the left, no glasses or anything like that, seems to have silvery eyes, something along those lines, but that's all I can actually tell you for now. The other one, on the other hand, seems much more aggressive, using what we can only imagine as parts of its bodies to clog various access points. He seems to be, well, hive-minded, I guess. And I'm not even certain it's a he. May not even actually pertain to that. But it's capable of duplicating mass numbers, and it has managed to kill several of my own men.
Yeah, no, I think we should go to the wasteland. I think I want to gear up for that one.
Well,
Mentally
thank you
not
for
ready it.
information. John, are you going to be okay?
No. Just getting that pre-game girl face on.
Pre-game girl face.
No, we just gotta take it one
Well
bite at a time.
put. Well
I mean,
put.
it's funny, and I just thought we just couldn't get any more screwed.
Well, we have work to do. Is there anything else that we need here? Or should we get this party started? Because my Bloody Mary is almost done.
Barracks just had this big, thing, this gun, just like sitting on his shoulder, and he's like, yeah, this thing's getting heavy.
Well
Oh,
then,
that's nice.
I suggest that we get moving.
Get on, little doggy.
This audio is real creepy in my headphones.
Yeah, it's like going back and forth.
Yeah,
It's supposed
that's
to.
good static.
Looking for one here. Do.
And the bass drop.
You ever used to watch those videos of dubstep with the filthy drops? My favorite part of watching those or listening to those songs was people describing how dirty the drops were.
Oh yeah. I just like
That's right,
seeing the
they used to
videos
do
of
that.
people caught listening to dubstep in the wild. Like they have their headphones on and you just see them like. That you can tell that it's like building up, and then you just see their like body like suspend, and then like.
There was one song that everyone got like blue balled, where they like built up, built up,
Yeah.
built up, and it's like like it just like kept on going.
There's that GIF going around right now of the like when your buddy the DJ keeps blueballing you, and it's like dun 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 dun, and it switches to Dancing Queen, and the guy's like ready to start dancing, and then it's like ABBA.
By the way, they have a new album coming out.
I saw.
ABBA? Yeah, after
Yeah.
many years.
Okay. So,
Yep. I love that they like focus right on his. There's another version where they like they smooth
It does the
directly onto his
Steadicam?
head. The Steadicam, where you just see
Yeah.
his
I like the
arms moving
Steadicam
around.
one, yeah.
It's
I
so
remember
much
that.
more terrifying.
Anyway, she's raises her hand. She's like, snaps her fingers. Solteris, and you see the silvery light appear from out of the corner, like just at the upper corner of the throne room. It comes gliding down at rapid speed, swirls around the group multiple times, and then comes to an abrupt stop. And then the little light of a person about yay big just starts to fade down. You can see the little wings going, and he's like, "Yes!" like that, raising his hand. She's like, "I need you to guide these people." You got Drave standing, he's like staring, he just like leans in trying to see what is going on. Like he's actually just like, holy shit. And then he's just like, yes, madam. Like, she is like, guide these over to the Wasteland Nexus. Make certain that they get there safely and keep a watchful eye. He's like, yes, ma'am. Like that, just goes like, follow me. Flies off in that direction, off to the side of the throne room.
John just kind of shakes his head. God damn, Faye. Every fucking time.
She's like, don't knock it till
That's
you
a-
try it, John. They can be quite useful.
Merrick is definitely looking as like, I was okay with Puck, but what is that?
And then you
Can you
see the
describe
little
what it looks
glinting
like
light
again?
go whoop right there into your face. He's like, I'm a fairy. Like that. He's not wearing any clothes. So he's just like waving himself right, and it's just sort of like, come on, you're slowing me down. Like that, and just goes right off.
Okay.
And then John just keeps on walking. He says, "Yup." That's all he says.
So it's
Um,
all true, right?
You can actually see Sebastian's kind of following the group as you follow along the trail of silvery dust kind of gliding through the air here. Oh, God.
John just kind of turns back. He's walking backwards. Yes. Yes, Barrick.
Ivar, why they're
All of
debating this, Ivar is considering a tactics role of would it be a good idea for him to create something to shield the group from the outsiders so we don't come walking in, they can see us coming?
Well, if you knew what it was that they could use to detect you, you'd be able to do that, but you've got no idea what it is they use to sense you. It could be that you're literally just so different from them, and even using something to obscure yourself would just make you more identifiable.
Okay. We better go in ready to fight.
We're not always ready to fight.
You see Sebastian hold his hand out. Of course, the silvery light stops at the wall. There doesn't seem to be any way out, but as Sebastian holds his arm out from there, you can see the individual engravings of an ornate door beginning to form. And then you have, Solteris, the little one, just kind of going, yay, like that, waiting, and you can see him just darting around all over the place. Of course, Sebastian's just sort of like, could you calm down, please? I'm trying to concentrate. He's like, sorry, like that, and moves off to the side.
Oh, big guy, what is your story? And Ivar's like looking at the fairy, just like he's seen him before. It's nothing new.
Talking to Sebastian.
No, not Sebastian, talking to the little fairy.
It's just like,
What's the fairy's name?
Solteris. He's just like, my story? Well, I could go on forever, but I will tell you anyway. I started out whenever I was actually just kind of like wandering around throughout the city, and then there was this like gang, this really stupid gang. They were all really dumb. I pranked them to the point where their stereo exploded, and then after that, I don't really remember what happened after that. I think I fed a rat pizza, but all things considered, it was a lot of fun. And then I started to torment these guys in this club. How did I get there? I don't really remember that either. Do you have any food?
And
Ivar
as he's going through this rant, John is just going
Ivar
from
like hands him and goes, I have Bloody Mary, it's like food.
He's like, yay! Like that, and just goes flying down and goes head first into your drink.
I like this one.
Oh, because making the Fey-like creature completely and utterly drunk, that seems like a great idea.
Of course, whenever he pulls his head out, he's soaking red at this point. He's just like, my eyes! Like that, and just goes like shakes like this. Oh, it's all right. And then, of course, you've got Sebastian just kind of breathing, and then the doorway makes itself completely clear. Now that it's engraved in stone, you can see it just push back and then open wide. And there is this trail, almost like... Try imagining walking through a wooded area. And the trees and the canopy and like this, they reach very close together. If you tried to surpass the trees on either side, there's not nearly enough room. They've grown so close together. It's like you're walking through a hallway designed by nature, and then you have at the floor of it just these, downed leaves, a lot of just mulch. It looks perfected and absolutely unusual, surreal. And of course, you've got this kind of shifting light that's coming through these branches and trees and leaves, but you can't see anything beyond the canopy or through the trunks. It's just constantly shifting light. And so you're moving through, and it's like your first passage.
Is Sebastian coming with us?
Yes. He's like, oh yeah, follow me. Like that, he glides out, and you can see the silvery trail just following behind him.
Okay,
We're
so
heading to the
Sebastian is
wasteland.
helping us through as well.
Well, Sebastian stops at the door. He's like, your guide will lead you the rest of the way.
Okay, so I was expecting that. So Riv turns and is like, "Thanks, Sabby."
He's
Does
like,
he have to open all the doors for us? Is that the deal?
well, at this point, your eyes are on the Silk Road. If Sebastian's not coming along, your assumption is that he's no longer needed. This was just getting you into the first gate, apparently.
So, wasteland, huh?
Who are you talking to? This group?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Out there.
I mean, I've got visions of Mad Max going on in my head, so I mean, it's just going to be a blast. And by blast, it's probably going to kill us.
I have a
Horribly.
question, D. Would Ivar, with his study of the occult, know anything about the wasteland just with a base 20? Or does he need to roll to see if he has
You
any
could roll it.
recollection?
You've never been there. You might have knowledge about it, but yeah, you can always make an occult check to see what's up.
24.
Sure enough. Okay, so what you know of the wasteland thus far is just that it is a place that is renowned for. It is just renowned for the fact that it is ultimately a transition point. So the fact that mortals are not welcome makes perfect sense, but you don't know what dangers lie there. You'd actually have to research it yourself. Whatever vague references that have come up in any of your research in past have been idle at best.
So we're going to Beetlejuice's Saturn.
It could be assumed it looks something like that, yeah, just from descriptions.
Okay.
All right.
Right. So how do we traverse this
Well,
Silk Road?
the pathway begins to diverge, which is where it becomes super important that Solteris is guiding you along. Of course, he will sit there and wait at the forks where you're going to be walking through, and any other intersections that come up, and he starts guiding you along. It becomes kind of this sort of crazy labyrinthian web that you're walking through, and you can understand that this is the reason why things get strange. While doing this, the pathway does change from time to time. It's not all this strangely condensed forest and mixed with light. Sometimes it converges into itself, becoming stone caverns that move through, and other times it looks as if you're like moving through the basement of larger buildings and things along those lines. Like it takes on characteristics and kind of idle appearances like things you've encountered before.
Oh, that's like the ways.
Yeah.
And can John use correspondence to kind of track the path they'd be taking?
Well, yeah, you can more or less just kind of get a feel for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't Ivar have direction sense?
Yeah, he does. He can determine which direction you guys are moving from, or, you know, like more or less like what direction you guys would need to go back to. In other words, where would you need to go if you would like had to stop here and move back? He would know exactly which way the original entrance was because of where you guys came in, but he wouldn't have like.
Yeah, he wouldn't know left, right, left, right.
And then I'm doing a correspondence thing, which is internal mapping.
Ivar, I'm going to take it with his direction sense, is nowhere like this. He's not off task. Like this doesn't seem anything bizarre to him. He's just like he can be stumbling through Night City drunk. He'll still find a place to piss.
All right. Whenever it comes down to a point, you've all been walking maybe approximately an hour, but it's really distorted. Like the way that it feels could be an hour, also could be like it's been all day. It's moving through realms like this is always a distortion. It's never anything simple or easy. It always feels obfuscated or obscure. It's just a difficult situation to try and get the exact sense of it.
High five.
Darby a kitty. So, once you guys stop, there is this secondary gateway, and it's similar arched, so it's got that nice pointed arch where it's got the that nice curvature and taper that goes to it, and it looks to be abundantly it's ornate, to say the least, constructed of wood and stone. And you've got Solteris just sitting there going like, You guys are all slow.
Well,
We're cautious.
Sorry for not being able to fly right now.
Well, Taurus, Ivar always slow. It just takes me a while to get places, because me always strolling with drink. Would you like more?
And he's like, maybe in a minute. Here it is.
Is
Like that.
everything okay?
And he's just like, yeah, it's just fine. And he goes, like, starts basically carving out this extraordinarily ornate configuration that is highly symmetrical and geometric, all across the front part of the door. And then you hear it just unseal, and there's this hot wind that comes through the crack of the center of the double doorway. It hits everybody in the face, pushing it back. Dreyfus goes like, damn, that smells awful. And he's like, yeah.
Helmet down.
But they're like opening up, and there is that same sense of heat only beginning to swell at this point. There's a bit of a wind going on. When you begin to look where the wastelands are becoming visible, you can see that it is like rampant dunes, but not all dune. It's dunes of sand mixed with huge pillarous rocks. Looks to be devastated forms of like buildings that used to be out in the greater distance. There is no plant life, no vegetation, no nothing. The slight tinge of orange and red that's coming from the various sunlit sky, like there are more than one sun, and they're all sort of positioned in these ornate patterns, as if this world, if you could even assume it to be as such, was somehow or another positioned within a cluster of suns instead of, like being the literal center of that universe.
Does it look like wreckage?
There are points of wreckage.
Nuke created desert sort of situation.
It has that feel. It has that feel to it, but you're not seeing anything vitrified or anything like that. It's all basically covered in sand. With the winds kind of blowing up, obviously this seems to be something that you would naturally feel just because of the fact that it is so barren. And there are jutting rock faces that push up, and some of these configurations look like they're actually in or below the dunes themselves. You can actually catch even in the slightest way at a far distance out, there is something that looks almost like a cave, but it's probably some kind of ruined structure made out of stone, but it's at such a great distance out. When you can see that Solteris kind of shivers like, ugh, this place is it's kind of awful. Ready?
So last time we were in some freaky otherworld desert sort of thing, we saw literal fallen angels fighting each other.
Oh yeah, that's probably purgatory.
Is this better?
He's like, no, this is much worse. As a matter of fact, I mean, if hell had hell, they'd like go to hell to vacation.
So
Right.
yes.
And he's just like shrugs his shoulders, just like, I don't know. Anyway, follow me. Like that just goes, like starts to move out. Whenever he does that, there's almost like, have you ever heard of sonic boom from a great distance away? It's kind of like when he passes the barrier from the threshold of the door, you hear that noise. Like he's snapping some kind of membrane out of place.
Gross.
John just walks through.
Yep, and you hear the same strange noise as you push through it.
All right, Barrick and his t-shirt cannon will go on through.
Okay. You go stepping on through. Now he starts to guide you along what seems to be an actual path that's been constructed. Go ahead, Drew.
I was going to say, Ivar also goes through. Like, it's what we're here for.
You hear that strange sort of distant pop as you pass through, and then the doorway seals behind you.
The visualization is working perfectly.
While you're stepping through, you're pelted with the heat. Although it is quite warm. It's more like 89 degrees, that kind of feeling, but it feels like it'll wear you down. With the wind blowing across, it's like it's trying to draw the moisture out of your body and take it away from you.
Wrong channel. No. Oh, you saw what I did though.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it. All right. Well, let's see here.
Nicely put. So, when you're walking across, there are inlaid stones and things like that. You actually catch the sight of white bones from time to time in emerging from the sands and then being buried as it shifts. You've got Solteris just moving along, trying to keep at pace with you guys, not leaving you guys too far out.
Back.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, like a sort of flying yo-yo.
So some of this is artificed, right? It's constructed. We've got inlaid stone and stuff like that, so it's not all just
right. You guys are following a very
wilderness.
direct path, yeah. And there's just, it's one of those things where it's like it seems pretty good, but it probably forks at some point, which it does eventually. At about 5 to 6 minutes on this pathway, it finally diverges and taking a left. There seems to be two other pathways, one going straight ahead and one to the right. And this divergence, he takes you to the left-hand side, and you can see something in the greater distance out of the far horizon. Something shifts, causing, this massive plume of sand to like erupt and then go flowing back down in a slow cloud. I mean, you see kind of like this whole thing with, like Soltaris. When that happens, he's just at the start, and he goes like that. He just holds his fist up like he's doing the military stop motion.
Where's Ivar's danger sense?
Well, it's kind of at a 2.5, if I'm going to put it there, like out of 4. So it's like this place is a threat, but it doesn't seem to be directed at you specifically. It's just generally like as you have felt before.
It's just like gravity.
Yeah.
Just danger pushing you down.
Yes, it's a danger pressure. You're just feeling it
Yeah,
about.
like walking through Night City at 3 p.m.
Oh my god. What did
D,
you end
I
up
need
getting
to-
with that? Did you get True Sight, dude?
I got True Sight right when I walked through. Like the second I walked through the gate, I turned it on because like that popping and the feeling and stuff. She actually, that's why I said the OC on accident. I said nope. Like that's what she said.
Oh man, these fucking shifts are priceless.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're moving through. You see, first that you take notice of is the beaming, glowing light that is your guide. You see the small little figure, naked, fluttering, youthful in his appearance, and then you see this massive sort of like outer stretched, illuminated silhouette of an entity that is extraordinarily like large, powerful, the rest of it much more massive than the size of the creature that now leads you. But you get the sense, just looking at it, that it is one part the incredible ego of this creature and also its true power at the same time. This strange mixture of both, kind of like a knight in shining armor, but depending on its mood, kind of shifts around to being sort of like petulant and sort of mood swingy and ADHD all at the same time. So you're watching these incredible fluctuations of its personality in this sort of illuminated format all around it all the time.
John has no fucking clue.
When you start to look at the rest of everything else, there is this sense of like absolute chill. It is, like I said, 89, 90 degrees as far as the raw temperature of the place is. What you're looking at here is like there's a difference between like purgatory and having seen that with True Sight. It is sort of a living construct, or at least something that is constructed of the near infinite souls that are either composed of or brought down in the most bestial sorts of way, and then constructed almost like physical structures as manifests of their whatever their emotion might be. And more often than not, it usually is deeply embedded in those like more negative bestial type modes, which is why you see the stretched faces and the screaming and so on. This is far more terrifying than even that. you're looking at the decomposition of the soul itself just blowing around as the sand that you are actually being, assaulted by and walking through, as it's coalescing and turning into these strange little dust devils and moving through as the wind picks it up and moves it along. You can feel with it suddenly being visually, possible for you. There are fragments upon fragments, trillions upon quintillions worth of shattered memories that don't have context, that are just embedded into every grain. And so you're being forced to absorb the fact that this is the literal wastelands. This is what must be that you get whenever you're dealing with souls that have either shattered, erupted, or, become something less than what they used to be, and have been consumed or utterly deprived of any real, sentience, and so they're just broken down into this absolute near nothingness.
So, hence, nope.
Yeah.
And from that, the structures that are composed here are basically, these are the failed potentialities. Everything that surrounds you at this point, this is all failed potentials, good, bad, or indifferent. These are the things that could have been and then just became dead, lying at waste here and rotting away in this particular wasteland.
Huh. Reminds me of Loki.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the timeline.
So yeah, you're just kind of stepping on that. So you're literally moving across dead souls. I mean, even in your own wildest dreams, it's kind of like if you were to be floating across the river Styx in your trunks. You're basically in it. You can't get out of it. That's the feeling that you get. And
Does that affect me in any way? Do I need to do any sanity?
It's fucking horrifying, yeah, because you're basically looking at a potential that you would never have considered. It's mind-bending. So, yeah, a sanity check would be necessary.
Okay. It's 1d100, right?
Yes.
Roll low.
Nope. My sanity was at 70, so that did not work out for me.
And you
well.
were at a fucking deficit. So
What was that?
Yeah, you were at a penalty because whenever you take sanity hits, if you take something that really rams you, you could suffer a -10, -20. You were at a -20 anyway, so you'd have to roll 50 or better.
Below 50. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where you just kind of go
Just
that.
spend 38 luck to bump it down.
John just looks at Rib and says, "Uh-oh."
Yeah, because you can see the arcane energy around her eyes. You've recognized it before whenever she's actually had arcane true sight running. Excuse me.
I love it though.
Boy.
If the only thing that we got from Riv was, all right, nope, and then just frozen.
Yeah.
Ivar's just drinking his drink, and he looks at John and goes, "There's something wrong."
10 steps later, we realize Riv.
Yeah, Rib.
I'm having that episode.
It's seeing the world as it really is, and anyone know how to restart Riv?
Can Ivar put
There
a
little. We could
nope.
just paperclip.
No,
Ivar
that's
create,
on you.
Can Ivar create almost a shield of protection to like a lead shield to lessen the true sight?
Faraday cage.
Yeah,
Yeah,
almost
that'd
like
be
to
neat.
cage it in to give Riv a chance to get some sense of stability.
You can attempt to get in there, yeah.
What's Ivar's target going to be if he's going
That's
to...
awesome.
Oh, damn it. You son of a bitch.
What the hell?
You guys are on the same page, apparently.
You
Got a
beat
double.
me by half a second.
So you're trying to reach Riv in some capacity. You're using your reality shift to do that, or?
Well, what I'm thinking is more because Ivar would recognize the true sight. He's seen it been used before. It almost like he wants to block it or reflect it back because it seems...
Metaphysical slap. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, it seems that Riv has seen stuff here that Riv shouldn't see, and it almost takes me back to like when Ivar discovers the stuff that gives him his powers. He realizes like he needed a shield. He didn't need to see it purely. I mean, it dehinges him, but he at least recognizes it enough to say, okay, maybe I can get some reality shift to
I've
contain
got
the
that reality
crazy.
grounding ring still. Hopefully that will help.
Yeah. Well, in this case, you can go in there in an attempt to disrupt the true sight, like the true sight that's active. You can try and disrupt it, because the arcane energy is there. You can sense it, so you can go and try to give it an interrupt, so it'll stop. Yeah. So if you want to do that,
What would
I'd
the
say target 9, and you're going to be fighting her will. So what's your will, Riv?
What's that?
Your will.
7.
7. All right. So that gives me an idea of what we got going on here. Yeah, the 9's about appropriate. So go for it.
-1.
Ooch.
What is the penalty that Ivar suffers for trying to break this?
Are you going to use no luck?
No.
Wow. Well, it's
Just
not
let it
Ivar's.
ride.
It's not Ivar's penalty that's going to happen. Make another sanity check, Riv.
What's okay? Oh, that's much better.
Much nicer.
Okay.
I guess I'm used to Ivar fucking with my head.
Well, in this case, you are stuck there, frozen solid, and you've got now a little Solteris that's kind of in your ear, going like, "Hey, hey, wake up! We gotta move!" Like you've got.
Literally in your
Yeah.
ear.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah,
you really
he's-
need to clean up in here.
Yeah. And you're just stuck, frozen in place. Riv, make me a will check, please.
That's 70-10.
Yeah, 70-10.
Is there a target?
Yes. You will need to hit 8.
Right. Okay. Oh, I exploded on 1.
Yep. So roll one more.
I'm gonna use luck to bump the 1s to 2 so they don't detriment. So luck equals 8. Okay.
And roll your exploder.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
So-
Just 3.
3 successes. Yeah.
Okay, so you're sitting there, and you're locked in place with the swirling of death, true death, around you everywhere. And you can feel like the moisture of your body, like I said before, with that wind blowing past, like it's trying to pull it out of you. You realize that is the very small fragmentation of your own essence blowing away with it, and it's like you're trying to keep your body, your very being, from flying apart. We're talking about your ultimate existence suddenly being under threat, which is why it's so horrifying. Then there's this voice that's in the back of your mind, which is actually quite familiar. You feel that Ivar is trying to like do something, but he can't seem to get past it. You have some strange thing where you can hear like hey, like almost echoing in your own head, because you've got this thing trying to yell and get your attention. That finally all dumbs down, and then you hear this thing in the back of your mind where it's like, "We've met before. Do you remember?"
Am I able to speak? Or
Yes, in your head you are. The voice is definitely familiar.
I really hope the voice inside your head says, "Am I allowed to speak?"
That's actually probably was just like said. Let's go with that. Yeah, she actually said that.
Okay, and he's like, "Of course you are. Focus on this voice. Focus on this feeling that you have building up. Push aside your fears."
She's gonna try. She's got concentration as
Yep.
an advantage.
Well, you start to simmer down, and then you start to recognize it, and you can see this individual walking through who meets the description that Violet had actually given you all about the outsider that had been causing her trouble on this particular pathway.
And I recognize that voice.
You do.
Oh god. I was gonna say it was the gauntlet, but okay. Wait, I see it on the path or in my mind?
In your mind. At this point, you're not sure where you are.
That's fair. So since
Are
I recognize him, what do I recognize him from?
You remember
I do
this
not recall.
moment before getting some major information. It was when you were still just before when you had traveled into the next realm, right before meeting Dravis. It's when
Oh,
you
I was
right,
gonna say,
right.
is this like when we were in Mars or wherever
when
we
you
were?
guys were on Phobos. Yeah.
When I was like,
Yeah,
phased out
Hobo.
of existence.
Yep.
Yeah, and you met the architect.
Well, and you can see him there. He's got the silvery eyes, the slight stubble, the hair that's parted, and that 3/4 length jacket. Everything that Violet described, there he is. And you had forgotten that what she was describing was the same individual that you'd encountered before, and then it snaps into place, and you realize that he gave you. God damn it! I remember that fucking episode too. That was so funny. But you remember him giving you a critical piece of information, which is now used in a lot of what's happening already with the new weapon.
Yeah, with the box and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So you've got the little shouting, you've got everything else going on, and he's just sort of like, I need you to tell the rest of them when you finally come to your senses that I'm not intending to fight. You have to tell them this. Do you understand?
She's down. She's, you know how when like waves of understanding are hitting you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where she's at right now. She's like, like, well, obviously her face is, but her mental face is like that.
Yeah. But he's like, you understand, yes? Just nod.
It just gets a creaking nod.
He's like, then do it now. Time is running out. And he just fades out of your memory and things finally snap back into place. And you're standing there, kind of amidst this, wasteland again, looking just like a wasteland instead of what you saw. But it'll be burned into your memory forever. But nonetheless, you've got the group just staring at you, and then you hear this like, "Hey!" like that going inside your head because
She falls over.
And I really want to hope that Ivar is like right there in her face, like, "Are you okay?"
If he's actually there, is he actually there?
Well, he can't be in your face. I think Ivar's shorter than you, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
He's
like,
up close,
right,
but you've got that. But you just flopped over because you've got Solterra screaming. And he's like,
well,
ah!
no, I'm gonna swing at Ivar then, like,
Yeah.
because it's like, "Ah!" because of the scream in the head.
Right.
I'm gonna roll.
Do I have a
melee.
feeling you knocked down my I just in my head my Bloody Mary just got knocked over.
Oh,
And
well, there you go.
Ivar's
I'm gonna let that
Ivar's
pass.
just staring at it like,
Does she punch herself?
John, I think we got Riv back.
You just swat and stumble. That's basically all it is. You don't hit anybody. You're just like like that, and just kind of like flop backwards like an invalid.
And the cult's just still looking out like this. Riv?
You got Solterra's like,
okay?
finally, come on, we gotta go. That thing's gonna get interested.
She's kind of backing up a little bit. She's definitely looking more scared than she normally has because
Okay.
you guys are used to her being like kind of together.
So
And
Colt kind of crouched and says, Riv, you're okay. Yes, things are trying to kill us, but that's not any different than any other day. I just need you to tell me what happened.
She looks at
John. I'm not gonna be mad. I promise.
She looks John in the eye and says, "The outsider here doesn't want to fight."
So, I'm not mad. I just would like you to explain what's going on.
maybe easy capture then.
Yeah, I'm going to relay everything that I experienced at least.
All right. So she ends up dumping as fast as she can about everything she knows. And
so you ran into this outsider on Ceres.
I just remembered that, apparently.
Sort of helped you out there. Kind of helping you out now. Says it doesn't want to fight. Did I miss anything?
I think that covers it. That sounds like a good summary.
And then he just goes,
I mean, Any fight we don't have to fight is a, you know.
I'm gonna hate myself for asking this, but I want to ask it why.
I mean, what?
Well, at this point, when you say that, you can see an individual walking as if they were coming through a bunch of like those heat waves for a moment, and then they comes into focus, and he is of the exact description that was given to you.
And Ivar just quickly snaps him and goes, "Remember why we are here. We have to stop this so we can get access to Silk Road. We can negotiate, but we have to be ready. Beric, are you have your gun already? We got to be ready to take this out."
Yep, I'm ready.
He ends up the entity just walks up, hands up like this, is like, I believe this is the gesture that everyone would expect when they mean non-violence. Am I correct?
Yes.
Now you want to talk to us?
So let's start off the conversation with, you can understand why we have some sorts of trust issues with your kind.
He's like, I know exactly why you have trust issues, and I have no intention of stopping you from mistrusting them. Because you're correct. In every possible way. Dravis, of course, has already whipped out his weapon and just has his his runelock trained on him regardless. It's just one of those things where he's like, he's not going to play
Ivar
games.
is holding his shoebox.
Yep. He's like,
Oh yeah, I guess Riv's got, Barrick's got the short gun.
Yeah.
He's like,
so why?
Because I have no interest in the world in which I had come, nor the prison I had been captured within. I am tired of being prisoner, and I have no love for any of my own. In fact, it is love that is of keen interest to me, since that is not something I'm familiar with at all.
Oh. Could we convince you not to be in this realm?
This realm is under attack, and as such, I wanted to extend an olive branch, knowing that it would actually create the exact alliance that I was hoping to make. I've already extended one thus far, because I would assume that what you have there, you can see him kind of do a half shutter, but it's that weird, supernatural, like almost fast frame shift kind of shutter.
Yeah.
And he's like, is the weapon in which you have been able to design as a result of her experience on Phobos.
Okay. So, what exactly is this realm under attack from?
One of our own.
Ah, so not you.
Zat Zayal.
What? What was that?
Come again.
The creature you hunt is
Zayal.
Zat Zayal.
All right,
Come on, you
everybody roll. Let's see if
Haven't
we
you?
can... As Barrick's the only one who understands who that is.
It's like, oh yes, I read that in the
You
book.
guys didn't study this in Sunday school? Seriously.
25 occult.
Yeah, in this case, you're not sure who that might be, but that sounds another of the various outsiders that would have been released. The name seems to have a similar akinment to it.
And what can you tell us about this Zadal?
Zat Zayal.
No, I'm not saying that anymore. Zadi. So what can you tell us about Zadi?
Zat Zayal.
You've said its name 3 times, so it's gonna show up, right?
Yeah. It's like Zat Zayal is quite specialized. He's taking keen interest into this realm because of its decomposition. I do believe that she's aware of what I speak about. It is similar to what we might used to exist within, though not quite similar enough. The patterns of degradation, what you call entropy, are of keen interest because it is change. Change beyond stagnation, change beyond the static.
So you're speaking about a creature who has possessions over changing immutable matter into whatever form is so desired.
Not exactly.
Before he answers, Riv pulls up a gun, like not at him, just holds it up. It's like, does bullets work?
And like, you should be able to do physical damage if that's what you're asking, but that there, indicating the same weapon that Barrett carries, that is the true means of getting rid of it. Thankfully, I've been able to ensnare it without its own knowledge. Zatzayal is here. Actually, not too far from here, I might add. Looking
Oh,
into
God,
Is
it's
that
that
Sayal a
thing.
skyscraper?
Yeah, that's that thing.
And he's like, no, no, no.
Is that Sayal like the size of skyscraper or like tiny like?
If you're referring to the worm that's been moving through the sands, it seems to do so. I've actually managed to observe it consuming some unfortunate individuals that wound up here by accident. Although I don't think that it is for digestion. It seems to be that it is the gatekeeper. It's a portal, but one that is alive.
You made me
You're-
fight that once.
So what are we looking for? Riv has finally gotten on her feet at this point.
You're looking for an outsider who exists within a smaller temple that is barely visible from this vantage point. If you move from off the path and you hear Salteris go like, No! No! No, we don't move off the path. Nope. Bad idea.
How'd you even know, like, what
If
skill ticks?
we move off the path, can you get us back on the path?
He's just sort of like, hey, well, yes, maybe, yes. If who's you're gonna roll. Oddly enough, you're gonna try rolling human perception.
Oh, wow. What the
Yeah,
hell?
the outsider's lying.
Yeah, ironic.
What is human? As we're talking, Riv has some familiarity with this guy now, since she's encountered him twice. It's like, I don't recall you ever giving me what someone might call you.
I don't have a name.
What can I call you?
I've rejected a lot of what I used to know. Names are strangely only applicable to things that wish to be, I wish to not. And therefore I have nothing.
How about shiny eyes?
Call him Void.
As you wish.
He's Void.
Ivar, with his general years of dealing on the street and having to deal with people who want to either give him money or pretend to give him money and make fun of him, is rolling a 26 on human perception. Does this guy seem trustworthy, or should we just start opening fire?
Well,
and
there's a way that
30
everybody
on
can
same
verify
thing.
it, because it's a little difficult
Colt
to tell if
throws
he's
30.
You know, like Barrick is unable to tell if he's lying per se, but
Yeah.
if he mentioned something earlier, and Barrick would know this, that he said he's already extended one olive branch, so that it was composite to the weapon that he already gave. You could confirm that with Riv, and actually go like, hey, is this the dude you met on Phobos? He's saying that he is. Is it?
Yeah, that's kind of more what Barrick is like trying to like. How much of this is Riv back versus is Riv, puppeted, like all like.
Based on what you can tell, her body language is definitely reminiscent of, oh, I know this guy. And she did have a strange, like, accumulation of information that would be way beyond her skills that she kind of walked away with after that whole incident.
Well, I came back with an AI in my head, so Phobos would change us all.
For some reason, I see Barrick right now pull out his leather moleskin, and he's flicking through pages right now with his notes. Like, wait a second. On this date at this time, I did a little dragnet, and you said this, and I said that. This is how we got paddywhacked.
God. Right, so he's just sort of like...
Barrick's paperless now, so... Alright. Seems legit. Colt, what's your read on this?
He's not lying as far as you're concerned.
I mean, hasn't inclined me to just say open fire, so it's not lying.
In order to
But
maintain...
can we trust him?
don't think we could trust anything, but for now, I think we could do this.
He's like, Satsayal is in the temple just there. In order to maintain the security of the rest of this particular realm and to stop him from escaping, I will have to remain out of the fight, only to maintain his concentration on the illusion that I've constructed for him. It's the reason why he has not been able to do more damage. But it took me some time to invade. It was difficult.
What do you want in return for helping us?
I wish to be left alone, eventually. I want all of these, all of my former brethren, all of them, to be removed. They are upsetting a very precarious balance, and while that may not necessarily shift to the point of total annihilation, I am certain that it will mean our annihilation, and I wish to exist. So therefore,
I know
am in
you wish
opposition.
to exist, but does your existence going to cause problems in our reality?
The only reason why you see problems within your reality is because they actively tinker with which they do not understand, and they have no care nor feeling for anyone there, and nor should they. There is no such thing as humanity, no such thing as a human soul, no such thing as a prime material universe. This is entirely a new game.
So we have an opportunity. And I think it goes without saying that if he does fuck around at some point in time, we will have to hunt him down. No offense. Just... So... Barrick? Riv?
I mean,
He's saved me twice now. I'm willing to give him a chance.
And he's not lying.
well,
And he knows
You
the
know.
consequence of double crossing. So...
lead on, McDuff.
He just nods. And then he looks over to you, taking note of your little comment about like existence and non-existence. He's like, nothingness is not non-existence. You can even ask her. She knows. Nothingness
Yes.
is something else.
The number of
She
zero is
shivers.
abstract and it has value. I understand.
He just nods his head. This way then. We had Solteris like, finally, we done talking?
Well, that's a good stopping point. I gotta. This is 10. Right to the
See.
temple next time. Give us the music. Do 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 do
Yep,
do do
it's a coming.
do do
Alright.
do 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 do.
Roll 1d100 on a 1. Barrick will launch his t-shirt launcher at this thing. Oh, 33.
Bum 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 bum.
I don't know why, but Ivar is not feeling very trustworthy of this person. And so he's very, very wary at the moment.
Yeah.
By the way, Ken, it's the 20th anniversary of the GameCube
Oh, nice.
this week.
That's
Hey,
awesome.
who posted the Mario?
I did.
Ken.
Yeah,
That was unbelievable.
yeah.
The Mario.
the
Oh,
Mario
yeah, that was
Maker.
like
Mario Maker.
seriously screwed up.
My son keeps asking me, he's like, can we get Mario Maker? I'm like, dude, you wouldn't have fun with it. You can enjoy watching all the YouTube videos you want, but I don't think you'd enjoy it because you would build
have-
them and then you would have to play them.
Yeah, it's like Dark Souls for children.
Dark
Jeff is
Souls for
perfect.
like rage quitters anonymous. Like it's just, it's
love
horrifying.
But
the-
you can build it however you want, right? So you can make
Yeah.
a super elaborate or you can make a super
And people do.
basic or whatever.
Yeah, the people
Yeah.
make.
I
them,
mean,
like,
that's an
really
example
creative
of
stuff.
one of the most complicated fucking platforming I've ever seen.
Yeah, I loved Scott's comment about how it's figuring out how to correct a group of women without being accused of mansplaining. That's a great representation of that. You're dodging
Yeah.
a lot of fire there.
But like, look, I have an actual graduate degree in this. I know what I'm talking about.
And my sex has nothing to do with what I'm about to tell you.
Yeah.
No.
It's just intellectual. God, it's such a terrible thing. The best part is it's timed too. Like you only have
Yeah.
like you can't dilly dally and wait for the perfect like thing. Like, he
Right.
beats it at 2 seconds left.
Yeah, it's insane. That's fucking insane.
Wow, that's
All
the
right.
second time that Riv has been able to be a plot device just
Go
because of her
Riv.
sanity.
Yeah.
No, I loved it.
Okay,
Hey,
everybody.
Well, I gotta
two-
commend D on that one because I didn't, that was an off the cuff thing that I decided to do because I got the
That's a
true sight and
roll
I
of true
failed on,
sight.
and I failed on my sanity. So, like, how are you gonna get this information to us, D?
You find a tablet in the middle of the desert, labeled
You fi-
Exposition Part 1.
You find these golden tablets in the desert.
I just use what comes my way, man. That's the reason why my GMing is organic like that. Because not even I know half the time what the hell's going to happen. I just know that these things are in place, and that's it.
I saw you got really excited when I got the true sights.
Yeah.
The arcane radio tunes in to the right station. Hello, everybody in Night City.
Your true sight, you took it into a realm where you should not have used your true
Well, I
sight.
did it in
and it was
Purgatory
like,
too. Remember? Like,
Yes, that's
I
why I'm
screamed.
like, oh, welcome to new dangerous dimension.
Yeah.
Oh
True
no!
sight.
Looks like. Oh no! Looks like Rib's at it again.
Yeah. Well, I actually typed
Last
in
time
my
on Shadows.
on my notes. I actually typed in elf eyes : and then like what he described. What do your elf eyes see?
Hell.
Last time in Shadows, Riv went insane yet again.
I've actually succeeded my sanity check every time. This is the first time it's failed. I
Yeah.
think.
Turned you into a drooling vegetable for a second. Which luckily it
And
happened
that-
outside of
Double
combat.
catatonic gifts.
and I gotta say, it wasn't worth Ivar burning his luck for what we're going into. It didn't work. Sorry.
Yeah, that worked out well.
I can't believe you posted the same GIF as I did.
I can't believe you posted the same one that I did. It's that cyborg reflex, you know.
Yeah.
Well, if that happens to Riv again, Beric has a little like stun baton. He can just like wake her back up.
Just put it right into the base of her skull. Put her in the Matrix.
Shit. All right. Well,
So everybody needs to come up with the name of a drug and 2 sentences about that drug.
Oh, I thought you meant slang in general for drugs. You may any
no,
drug.
like
huh?
a Night City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Just different drugs and the effects of it.
Build
Yeah.
out this world and then double check them that they're not accidentally derogatory terms used in contemporary United States.
right.
Ooh,
like,
the
ooh.
urban
I'm like, I
dictionary.
got one. What if they're like zip? Let me just look up. Oh no, turns out that's a huge derogatory term against Korean people. All right, not gonna put that in the book.
Mm.
That sounds horrible.
Well, I'm gonna commit to having something very memey because it would be
I
we're
love
in the
it.
future. It would be a meme like Doge smoke or something or
Yeah, even if it's like
much
yeah.
existence. Wow.
Chonk rocks.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to
and
feel like
make-
somebody
I mean,
else?
I was
Fracture.
Batman Beyond, and I was like, oh, I want Night City, like in the Batman Beyond style. I want to watch Night City Adventures, and have people be like, "Shway."
Oh crap. Well, I think we'll kill the stream. Thanks for those who watched, and y'all have a good night.